Well, it is IEM San Jose, and once more I am interviewing Chauster. He has emerged for San Jose, and once more played in a celebrity show match. Is it fun for you to come back and see all this stuff?
Oh yeah, it's really fun. Basically, the last time I went to an event was last year. Last year's IEM San Jose, but I really just want to come out and just meet all the old faces, old friends, see them again because I don't really see them throughout the year.
Who all are you going to see or hang out with here?
Link and Benny are coming. I should be hanging out with them later. I've been walking around with Hotshot the entire day, and pretty much anyone actually.
You get a chance. You were playing against Double, right? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, I was playing against Double Lift, but it's kind of like when you come to these events, you can't really hang out with the players as much because they gotta be super serious now, practice every day. So unless they lose,
Unless they lose, then they're just salty.
then you don't want to hang out with them.
Then it's rough. Now, what have you thought? Because it's kind of funny because there's been so much talk about CLG lately. I don't know if you've seen any of this. Obviously, you came out and had some statements around the time when Link released the Dunzo Manifesto, as it's been called.
Dunzo Manifesto, yes.
Yeah, the Dunzo Manifesto. Now, obviously, even more drama with Doublelift getting kicked from the team, joining TSM, all the stuff that happened afterwards. Do you have any thoughts on any of that stuff, or what is it like for you at least seeing the stuff happen?
It's kind of weird. Actually, I was like outside downtown, and then I read the news randomly, and I was like, what the hell? Is this real? The TSM double lift? And then kind of part of me was like, I don't really know how to feel, because I guess once you're on CLG, you kind of feel like you live or die with it. Then I saw him on TSM, I was like, man, like, what happened? But, being in the inside, I kind of know, right? So it's like, it wasn't a big mystery to me, but it just feels wrong. I guess a lot of fans feel the same way.
Have you gotten used to it yet? It took me a little bit to get used to, but eventually I did. Have you gotten used to it?
I mean, after witnessing all those, like, is this real or fake? Like TSM double lift and like CLG Wild Turtle, and I was like, oh, it's pretty funny. But yeah, I get used to it. So.
What did you think of all the stuff that came out afterwards? We had Doublelift making statements on stream, and then we had Aframu saying his own thing, and then we had Hotshot do the big interview. Did you see any of that stuff? Did you have any thoughts on it?
I pretty much looked at all of it. I'm just watching from an outside perspective. I mean, I'm definitely not the right person to talk about PR, but can't really say much. I mean, obviously the story is not out there, and just decisions are made. What's done is done.
So we've seen so much change in the LCS. I think we actually have 5 of the 10 teams changing in NALCS right now. So many of the people that you played with are now gone. There's only, like, Doublelift is an example. One Special said he might be on an LCS team, but so many people leaving, it's almost like a completely new scene. As someone who was there from the start, what is it like now seeing the stuff, or do you still watch it? What are your thoughts on the new LCS, I guess?
Well, I still keep up with like the current news sort of because I read Reddit frequently, but I mean, seeing all these old players come and go. I mean, when I was playing, they were kind of like kids to me, since I'm like one of the only guys that I'm just old for a gamer. I'm really old, and Special to me is young, and now he's considered old. But seeing these guys retire, I think it's just normal. It just shows you the state of what esports actually is. I know people are crazy about like esports is growing, but really that's what it is. It may be growing, but a lot of players that played, their time is done and they have to move on.
What about you? Is there any chance we'll ever see you return to esports besides the IEM San Jose show matches?
Maybe they invite me out to IEM San Jose next year. Okay. But as for now, no plans. I mean, I'm working already. I'm an accountant. It's really boring for someone who used to be a professional gamer. But unless I somehow find myself short of a job, no.
Do you ever sit there? You're looking at the Excel spreadsheet in your cubicle, and you just sort of alt-tab over to a little scene of you winning a tournament or something like that, and you lose your vision, and it just kind of goes into that moment, and you're like, what I was,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely have those moments because you just go to work, you study or whatever. I'm trying to get my CPA, and afterwards, just kind of sit there and like, oh man, I used to do so much. I used to travel. I used to play games, but really, I mean, those days are kind of over. I guess kind of like referring back to your earlier question about like esports and whatnot. Like, I think like right now there's just less personality everywhere, basically because esports is becoming more of a sport. Yeah. So like, who's like one person with personality out there? You play double lift, right? But technically that's because he's a relic of the past now. Whereas back in the day, like, you had so much, like, what a dumb team, right? You had like Hotshot, me, GG, Saint, and Doublift on the same team, like 5 personalities, and now you can't have that. You can't imagine having like GG and PR. Yeah. It's like a disaster. Yeah. So
times are changing. Is there anything that you want to say to any of the Chauster fans out there that are hoping that one day you'll swoop in to a world championship and, you know, coach or play support again and save the day for North America?
Just basically thanks for all the support. I mean, it's nice to see. I guess I still frequent Reddit. I see those every time like my name's mentioned. They just do like some chain where they're like, oh, top percentage, everything he says is right. Yeah. Well, at least I have a meme legacy. That's fun.
Yeah, the meme legacy.
Keep it up.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the interview. Really good to see you again. We'll see you next year at IEM San Jose. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things League of Legends at GameSpot.com/LOL.